Hello? Love, hi. If I'm annoying, why are you here? Just curious about that. I was like fingering. You're a lie.
Oh my goodness, you guys. Hello. We have an explosive, exclusive interview that Amberlynn's ex, Beck, has given to Karina Kaboom. Make sure you go over to her channel and watch the full video. I'm sure most of you have. I wanted to talk about this interview because I said in my last video that I felt bad for Amber. And it's like every time I start feeling that way, something new comes out that just solidifies that Amber is just the worst. This video is, of course, just my opinion based on hearsay as a third party. I wasn't there. I don't know these people. I can't comment anything as if it is fact because it is just my opinion. It's all alleged. It's not fact.
I'm not surprised about things that are coming out about Amber from her ex-friends and ex-partners. I know what I experienced the 3 or 4 years we were together. I know what my family was put through. I know what they still have talked to me about. I know what happened with my mom and, what it did to me and her. And I know what it did with my sister. And it's just, things got a little rough.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly. I mean, we all remember the situation with Amberlynn and Beck's mom. Earlier in the interview, Beck did tell Karina that they are healing. That situation doesn't particularly make them feel sad anymore. But I think I can confidently say that the community remembers, will always remember, and will never forgive Amber for what she did.
When did I realize you needed to end things with Amber? What was the final straw in the relationship? There was one day where she had started pretending to be me in text messages in because I had a group message with Eric and Ricky that we had had for years. And we had had it long before I'd even known who Amber was. And she was mad that she wasn't added to that one, that she had been added to a new one that we created for all four of us. And so she was pretending to be me, asking for her to be put in our old friend group one from years ago.
I've made several videos about how I think Amberlynn is manipulative and her tactics to manipulate others. But this goes beyond that. This is actually psychotic. Amberlynn, of course, is going to say that this never happened or that she did it for a good reason and Beck is just spinning a narrative. I, of course, believe and stand with Beck. I think they are a victim of ABUs. The reason I think this is because AB users will usually try to isolate people, and a tactic of doing that could be pretending to be their partner and when talking to friends or family. I'd like to see Amber try to explain the situation because there is no explanation to do this. If she does admit that it happened, there's absolutely no reason to impersonate your partner when talking to their friends.
Me and her just got into a big argument about that, and it was so bad that we just ended up going to sleep. We were in the living room. I was on one chair and she was on the couch, and we went to sleep for a really long time. And when we woke up, we started fighting again, and then I ended up going to my family's that weekend. And that's whenever I decided that I didn't want to continue being in this toxic relationship anymore.
Notice how Beck is saying that she basically had to leave the environment in order to draw up the courage to break up with Amberlynn. Beck goes on to explain why they stayed so long in what they're now calling a toxic relationship.
That I know I was so worried about what would happen to her, who would take care of her, who would take care of the animals. That's why I stayed so long. I was just so concerned with, I did care about this person. This was my friend. These animals, I did love these animals. I felt an obligation to take care of them. And I guess it also tied into my trauma of just needing to feel needed. And I think that was also why I even stayed, because I also just felt like this person had nobody else and I didn't deserve better. So that's why I stayed as long as I did. And I realized it was unhealthy, that it was doing neither one of us any favors, and that she should move on and hopefully move on, go live with her mom or, whatever she needed to do. And I wanted to move back home. I wanted to be with my family and my friends and live my life. And I was ready to let go. I'd been ready to let go long before we had even ended it.
Wow. You know what that tells me? Beck really did care for her. They really loved Amberlynn. And what did they get in return? Nothing but mistreatment.
What do I think of Amber calling me money hungry and trying to capitalize on my live streams? That's what she was doing with me, like the whole time I was being used for live streams. And that ties into the next question. Did I ever get paid from the live streams I did with her? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Because she said that all of that money had to go toward all the bills. I don't even know how much she got. I have no idea. I don't even know how much I was supposed to get, if I was supposed to get half. I have no idea. I was just told, you do these live streams with me, you'll get money. But then she was like, you got to pay bills. So no, I didn't see anything from it. I think whenever we broke up and I moved out, I think she gave me like $100 to $200, and that's how I ended up getting the U-Haul.
I'm pretty sure this is illegal. We all remember that you told Beck that you were going to pay them while on live stream, and Beck sat there and made you tons of money, all under the impression that you were going to pay them. Everybody was under that impression, Amber. So I think Beck has a good case on their hands if they ever decide to take this to court.
No, I'm definitely not money hungry for trying to do my own live streams. That was just, I don't know. I had periods where I wanted to come back and I had all these great ideas and I would get these big ambitious, like, you know, I still have videos on my phone of like ghost adventures and hiking. Me and my sister went to the Natural Arch. I've got videos from that I haven't uploaded. I became so depressed I couldn't even work anymore, and my sister and Logan had to take care of me, and they were the only ones who were there for me during that period of time. So no, I wouldn't say I was money hungry.
No, Beck, you are not money hungry. Do not ever listen to what Amberlynn has to say. She's a lie. We all know it. I know it can be difficult to upload videos when you have a lot going on or a job, but I know that the community would support you. I would personally watch and rewatch your videos just to offer you that support. You have a lot of people that support you, Beck. I personally think that the way that Amber treated you was unfair and just plain evil.
How has Amber manipulated you? What did she say to get you into the relationship? Well, I wanted to start off very slow, and I was moving too slow for her. So one day she was just like, there's a line of people who want to be with me, so if you're not going to be with me, then you need to leave.
Sure, Jan.
And I didn't want to lose that friendship. She said she wasn't interested in being friends, and I didn't want to lose the friendship. I was enjoying hanging out with her and getting to know her. So I just rushed into it. I was like, okay, fine, we'll be in a relationship. And it was just like, after that, I felt stuck and obligated. And like, she definitely made it known to me that she did not have anybody else.
So right from the beginning, she lied. She lied to manipulate Beck into a relationship. And once that was secured, she manipulated Beck again into thinking that Beck was her everything. She had no one else. So Beck had to step up and take care of Amber. And Beck stayed with Amber because she felt love and also a huge sense of responsibility to care for Amber because there was no one else to do it. This laid the foundation for what in my opinion and allegedly was the ABUs to follow.
That I was all she had. Said that Eric and Ricky still talk to Amber. Did Eric have a convo with me about this before reaching out to Amber? To be honest, we haven't spoken in almost a year. And whenever I became really depressed, I isolated myself, and they got upset with me for doing that and not texting them. So they stopped talking to me. And so I never tried to fight for that because that had happened other times before where they would just stop talking to me and I would have to beg for them to talk to me again. But I would go through bouts of depression and isolate myself from everyone. So, I mean, it wasn't like I was doing it to them. But, yeah, we don't talk. We had a little falling out there. So whatever they do, I really don't care what Amber does either.
And I am so happy for you, Beck. I truly am so genuinely glad that you have removed these toxic people from your life. But as for me, I'm too petty for that. Eric and Ricky knew probably a lot more than most people because they lived with Amber and Beck. So you knew how your friend was being treated in that relationship, and you still weren't there for them. Despicable. And in my opinion, Eric and Ricky deserve Amber. And from now on my channel, those two are persona non grata. I will not be mentioning them again.
Well, I've talked about why Amber and I broke up, but there were other times where we tried to break up, and it was me trying to break up with her, and she would argue with me and beg me and exhaust me until I would just give in and stay. That happened a few different times.
Yeah, this is ABUs. It was already so difficult for Beck to leave the relationship because they were financially dependent on Amber. And so for Beck to work up the courage and the gumption to say, I need to break up, I want to break up, and then just not be allowed to do so over and over again, I mean, that's really serious. Amberlynn basically kept Beck hostage. In a relationship Beck said they didn't want to be a part of anymore. They tried to break up with Amber several times, and Amber just didn't let it happen. And I don't know if you remember this, but I definitely do. Amber talked about this exact thing in a live stream. She said Beck tried to break up with her, and Amberlynn was like, no. Y'all remember that? I remember listening to them and thinking that that was not right. But after listening to what Beck has to say, I know that it was a lot worse than what I originally thought. Amberlynn basically denied Beck their freedom over and over and over again.
And there was a few different times that people in my life tried to get me to leave her. My family had an intervention with me. They took me to a park and was like, we are begging you to leave her. You are different. You aren't the same Beck that we used to know. We're worried about you. We just don't think this is a healthy relationship. And I was just so depressed at that point. I didn't care about myself. I didn't care about anything. I felt stuck. I felt it's what I deserved. I felt like I had nowhere to go if I were to leave. I don't know. There were many factors as to why.
So obviously people in Beck's family saw that they were being abused. They thought it's not a good relationship, and it wasn't. A lot of people saw that even online. Even when Amber didn't show the entirety of the relationship, we saw enough where we knew that Beck was being mistreated. And I'm glad that they have people in their life that are willing to put their relationship with them on the line and say, listen, this is what I think. I think you should leave the relationship. However, it sounds like Beck was at such a low point in their life. And make no mistake, a large part of that is because of the relationship with Amberlynn. Abusive relationships take a lot out of you, and they beat you down, they tear you down. And I'm just glad that Beck was able to leave when she did.
And there were also times when I would be hanging out with Eric and Ricky playing video games, and Amber would set timers for when I had to be back to hang out with her or do things for her. And I was always spending time with her. It was, just every now and then I would go hang out with Eric and Ricky. And Amber would be invited too, but she would not choose to hang out with us and then make it a point to set a timer for whenever I had to be back.
I hate to be repetitive, but again, this is clear-cut abuse. I've been saying Amber is an extremely controlling person. She loves having control and the upper hand in all of her relationships, whether they are romantic, friendship, familial. She likes having the upper hand. But this behavior is absolutely appalling. There is no excuse for it, and I can't wait to hear what Amber has to say about this, if she addresses it at all, because there's just no excuse for this kind of behavior and this kind of treatment of a partner. I'm so happy that Beck is finally with someone that makes her feel good and happy, and they are actually engaged. So congratulations to them. This has been kind of a hard video to film. I hope I did the interview justice. Of course, go watch the full interview on Karina's channel. If you made it here with me to the end of this video, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.